The school was old, and rumors were that it was haunted. No one dared stay after school to find out if those rumors were true, until one day when 2 students did. It was a chilly autumn afternoon, and 16-year-old Elara was sitting on the window seat in the last row of their English class. Beside her sat Theodore, who was busy writing something in his notebook. Their teacher, Mrs. Willow, was droning on about Shakespeare, which was extra boring because she kept comparing the bard to modern-day songwriters like Ed Sheeran. As soon as the bell rang, signaling the end of class, Elara rushed out, almost knocking Theodore over in her haste. She didn't want to be in the empty school when the sun went down, so when she heard gasps behind her, she didn't bother to look back. Theodore stared at the door that had swung shut with a bang. He was surprised by how fast Elara had left. Normally, they took the same route home together, but today he saw her practically fly down the corridor. Something must have scared her, he thought, and shrugged it off, assuming it had something to do with the ghost stories. He was now walking alone through the deserted corridors. The late afternoon sun slanted through the grimy windows, casting long shadows that danced around him. Bang! Then he heard it, a soft, mournful cry that seemed to echo from the very walls. He froze, his heart pounding in his chest. Was he finally going to see the ghost? Just then, a book fell from a shelf, startling him. Theodore jumped and spun around, knocking over a wastebasket as he did. It was then that he saw her. She was standing in the middle of the room, her back to him. Her shoulders shook slightly, and he could hear her soft sobs. Slowly, she turned around, and Theodore gasped. Her face was pale, almost translucent, and her eyes were pools of endless. For a moment, they just stared at each other. Then she vanished. Theodore stood there, his mind reeling, until he heard footsteps behind him. Turning around, he saw a group of students smirking at him. "What are you doing here, Theo?" asked one of them, a girl with long, flowing red hair. "Shouldn't you be at home?" Theodore stammered, knowing he looked ridiculous. Then he shook his head, chuckling nervously. "Yeah, I guess I should go." He hurried out of the room, not wanting to explain. He had seen a ghost, and he knew no one would believe him. The next day at school, he couldn't focus on his classes. All he could think about was the ghost girl. Who was she, and why did she appear to him? Then he remembered. She had appeared to him when he was alone in the corridor. Maybe she wasn't a ghost, but a person who needed his help. Elara, the girl he had seen rushing away the day before. Had she been the ghost? He found her, sitting on the window seat as usual, and he took the seat beside her. "Hey," he said softly. She turned to him, her expression guarded. "Do you want to get out of here after school today?" he asked, hoping she wouldn't say no. Elara hesitated. She did want to get away from the school, but she was afraid to go alone with Theodore. There was something about him that both intrigued and frightened her. And as the minutes passed, she knew she had to make a decision. The final bell rang, and Elara stood up. "Okay," she said softly, surprising even herself. As they walked out of the school together, side by side, Elara realized that she wasn't afraid anymore. In fact, she felt safe with Theodore, and that scared her more than anything else. They reached the corridor where she had seen the ghost. "Do you feel anything?" Theodore asked, taking her hand. Elara nodded. "I feel like I know you," she whispered, and suddenly she did. Memories flooded back to her. Memories of a life she had lived a century ago. She remembered being in love with a boy named Theodore, a handsome young man with kind eyes and a gentle touch. But then she had died, leaving him behind. And now she was a ghost, doomed to wander the halls of Ashton High for eternity. Or maybe she wasn't. As she looked into Theodore's eyes, she saw the same love and kindness that she had known so many years ago. And in that moment, she knew that she wasn't alone anymore. They embraced, and Elara felt whole again. Finally, she could move on. And as the sun set, casting long shadows on the walls, they disappeared into the darkness, hand in hand.